Hi everybody, we're going to do a quick training on the AO Biotech pharmacogenetic forms. So you might want to have a pen in hand because there are a couple of occasions where you'll probably want to write down some information. So we're going to start with the account setup form. And this is available online. If you don't have it, you can go to the Dropbox or you can email your manager and it will be sent to you. It's editable electronically. So you're going to want to complete this form online. It should not be handwritten. And it's going to take a couple of minutes of your time. So it's real quick and easy to do. So we're going to get started. You'll obviously put the date. You're the sales rep. The preferred method of contact is with regard to the office, not you. So when we fill that out, you're going to designate how the office wants to be contacted, whether that's by fax or phone. The name of the company is CNC Paren MC close Paren LLC. If you want to save a couple of moments, you can have a template that already has that filled in and then just save it so you're completing the rest of the fields. You will then note the specialty of the practice. If it's a PCP or an internist, they're a general medicine. The others speak for themselves. You'll then complete the left-hand column, and all but the facts can be obtained either online or at the business card that is at most intake desks. So again, you're going to complete that. Now, please note that you're not going to fill out this form in front of in the presence of the office manager or certainly not the doctor. And you're not going to leave this with them to complete. This is a form that you will complete outside of their presence. And again, this takes just a few moments of your time. So again, all of the information in the left-hand column can be obtained either online or at a business card that is at most intake windows. So you'll have to ask somebody for their fax number. Moving to the right-hand column, the office manager's name you'll have to obtain. And the phone number, obviously, that's going to be same in most instances. We don't need the billing contact. We don't need the phone number. And if you have the office days and hours, you can fill that in. If there's a second location of the office, you will fill out the same information in the rectangle that speaks to the second location. If there's more than two locations, you'll obviously use more than two forms. Dropping down to the physician information, you will list the physician's name first and last. If there's more than 9 physicians, then you'll need 2 forms. The degree type will be noted in the second column, the location at which they will be swabbing, whether it'll be the primary location or the secondary location. And please don't sweat this. If they're doing it at both, you can put both. It's that part is not important to getting this set up correctly. You will then insert in the last column, the far right-hand column, the NPI number of the individual physician. You are not going to, if you would please be so kind, you will not ask the physician for their NPI number. You will go to the following website, npinumberlookup.org. Follow the prompts and you can obtain any prescriber's NPI number from that website. Once again, npinumberlookup.org. You will then drop down to the report delivery preference, and you will always check WebDocs. I'm going to say that again. You will always check WebDocs because that creates a permanent electronic record of the test results. If your office wants the results faxed to them, you'll note that there. But regardless of the second option, you will always, as in always, check WebDocs. So if you want it faxed, you're going to have 2 checks here. So that's the setup form. You will then save that as a document and you will email it to, again, pen in hand, because you're going to want to write this down, S as in Sam, Torrence, TORRENCE at aibiotech.com. You will then copy me on the email, Melissa, MELISSA, Conley, CONLEY, Elizabeth, S, Sam, Q, Queen, at gmail.com. And if you have a manager, you will also copy the manager on that email. So once again, once this is completed, which should take no more than 2 or 3 minutes of your time, completed electronically, not in the presence of the doctor. You're not leaving it with the office to do. You will email it to STORRENCE@aobiotech.com, and you will copy Melissa Conley, esq@gmail.com, and any manager that you have. So once again, you are going to, for certain, note that you want the results delivered by WebDocs. And if they want fax copies, you will check that as well. Now, please note that there is no place on this form to set up the FedEx pickup. So there's two alternatives. If you, in fact, know when you want FedEx to pick up the specimens at the office, you will state that in the email to Stephanie. Attach this and then send it on its way. If you're not certain at that point in time, you will simply attach the account setup form, send it to Stephanie, again, copying the appropriate parties. And when you are certain of when you want the specimens picked up, you'll send a second email to Stephanie, attach the account setup form, which you've saved in your files, and state in that email when you want the FedEx pickup to occur. So again, this allows you to meet with a decision maker at the office. I'll say that again, a decision maker at the office, set up the account form, email it to Stephanie, copying the appropriate parties without swabbing for 45 days. And that account will be protected from any other AO Biotech rep. The second form is the supply order form. Again, the company is CNCMC LLC. You are the sales rep, and the customer service representative is once again Stephanie Torrence. You will then note the quantity of tests that you want sent and the ship to address. Now, please note that you must copy me initially on the email. Please do not fax these. Please email these once again to storrence@aobiotech.com, copying me on this. You need not copy your manager on this. Now, I'm thinking that this form will be revised because with the universal requisition, which I'll speak to in a minute, we don't have this distinction any longer. If you're setting up an office, no matter what expectations you have for them, we're really starting with 20, 25 tops kits. If you're starting a new rep and you're using this, or you're replenishing your supply, and yes, unless you're in swabbing momentum, we're starting new reps with 15 kits. So again, I'm going to hold you accountable for this because it shouldn't be kits, swab, kits, swab. It really needs to be kits, swab, kits, swab, kits, swab, kits, swab. So I'm going to hold you accountable for that. You will use this form if and only if you have multiple physicians, and here you can see you can list as many as 10. If you have more than 10, of course, you're going to use the second form. If you have multiple physicians who want their results going to one WebDocs location. So if Nurse Harry is going to be assigned with retrieving the test results for more than one doctor, be it 2 or 10, or in fact even more, for HIPAA reasons, we're going to want those doctors to acquiesce to that. So you will handwrite the physician's name, their initials, and the date. Now, word to the wise, if physicians have made this decision, initialing this form is a ministerial act. There's no discretion involved. And in my opinion, there really would be very little, there would be nothing inappropriate with your helping with completing this form once that decision had been made, because again, completing the initials is a ministerial act. The information at the top speaks for itself. So you would use this form if and only if more than one doctor wants the results going into one WebDocs for ease of retrieval. The requisition that you will use in all instances but for the state of New York is shown on the screen right now. Now you have two choices. You can either customize this requisition, which is my recommendation, such that on the day of swabbing, half of it is already done for the staff. The easier it is to do, the more it will get done. That's a principle of business. So once again, the easier it is to do, the more it will get done. And it's in the patient's interest and your interest that more get done. So you can edit this form electronically. You would insert the physician name, the practice name, if any, the phone number, the location. You would note that the collection was obtained by a buccal swab. And you would then, assuming that they want all of the panels, the personalized medicine panel, which would be all of the panels, the cardiology, the pain management, the psychiatry and the urology, you would check that. So you would then once again do that. Now, if the doctor wants 1 to 3, any combination thereof, you might need to leave that blank. So if you had a cardiologist that always wanted cardiology, you might check that box before you print it. And if that cardiologist wanted to order the psychiatry panel because the patient were on an SSRI and or a urology panel because the patient was on an erectile dysfunction drug, they would then just have to check one of those 2 boxes. So once again, you'll complete this in some regard. If you know that in all instances they want all 4 panels, you would check this, because what we're doing is creating a master requisition, if you will, to cut down on the amount of work that's done on swabbing day. If you know that they'll always want a cardiology and perhaps one of the others, then you would check cardiology. You will then check the box that says the patient information is going to be shown on a demo sheet, a demographic sheet. Some offices call them face sheets, but you will check that. Now, in some instances, even the insurance information is shown on the demo sheet. You can then, once you've printed this, handwrite here the same information, see attached patient demo sheet. Because once again, what that means simply is that there's less work to be done on the day of swabbing. That means that the office will not have to show the front and back of the insurance copy it. You will then drop down to the ICD-9s and you will check the 2 V codes that apply in all instances. You will then print this and you will take it with you to the practice on the day of the first in-service. You will then ask the physician if he or she is comfortable either signing or signature stamping the requisition. And I personally have never had a physician say no. Once you have that, you will photocopy this and you will, in effect, have the entire left-hand column completed and most of the right-hand column completed. So on the day of swabbing, the only things that have to be completed are the collection date, the insurance information if it's not already shown on the demo sheet. The office will have to print the demo sheet and then upcode to any applicable ICD-9s. If this were left blank the time of the collection, the lab will still process the specimen, needless to say. And if collected by is blank, ditto, the specimen will be collected. Now, you might find that helpful because if Sally Sue is the only one who's making mistakes on the requisition, and you know that because they're all Sally Sue's requisition, you can go back and monitor that. So if you need this for your own purposes, certainly have that completed. Otherwise, the lab, once again, will process without that. This is the New York form. This requisition has to be used in all instances in the state of New York. So what I want to make sure that we all understand is that what we're testing here is genes. You can see that 2D6, 19, etc. But currently, the only panel that is certified in the state of New York is the cardiology panel. The setup of this requisition, though, allows the other panels to be produced and deposited in the Dropbox once the other tests are certified. So once again, we're going to treat this the same way that we treated the universal requisition. You can either complete this in advance, which I highly recommend, and you would do that by typing in the physician name, the practice specialty. Once again, general medicine is anybody other than one of the specialties shown, including nephrology, a PCP, internal medicine doctor, etc. Office phone, office location, Obviously, we're checking the personalized medicine panel because that's all that it's available. We're going to check the V codes. We're then going to print this, take it with us on the day of the in-service, and ask the physician if he or she is comfortable signing it or signature stamping. Once again, that request has never been declined. So you have all of the left-hand side of the requisition completed. So on the day of swabbing, the only thing that has to be completed is a copy of the demo sheet, the front and back of the insurance card, unless it's shown on the demo sheet, in which case you can handwrite that here, and then the collection date. And needless to say, you would have checked on the type of sample submitted that it's done with a buccal or buccal swab before you printed this. Now, in the state of New York, please note this. Patient consent to collect DNA has to be manifested in the state of New York with a signature. So you will complete the signature consent form in the state of New York, and only in the state of New York is that necessary. Having said that, that completes the webinar with regard to forms, and you can see that this is very simple. We have the account setup form, number 1. We have the multi-doctor web docs form, if applicable. And those are one and done. You're only doing those once. And then going forward, we're using one of two requisitions. We're either using the general state, all but New York requisition. Your choice as to whether you customize that or you go with the blank template. And I would argue that more tests are going to be produced, thereby helping the patient base of that practice, if you were to assist the staff in completing as much in advance as possible. If you are in the state of New York collecting specimens in the state of New York, it doesn't matter where that patient resides. So if it's a New Jersey or Connecticut or even Pennsylvania patient, for instance, seeing a doctor in the state of New York, we are using the New York requisition, which requires the patient consent. Having said that, I want to thank you for your time and attention. You can see how simple and streamlined this process is. Thank you so much.